All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Assume that everybody who wants to be here is here. Oh, Juan, you didn't get to see Tuesdays, did you?
No.
Okay, so it's in the WhatsApp. Tuesdays is a good one. We're gonna build on it. On Tuesday we talked about just kind of bring you guys up to speed if you weren't here and kind of refresh you if you were. We reviewed the success map. Remember, number 1 is where are you now? 2 is where you want to go. 3 is why do you want to get there? Attach an emotion to the journey, and then 4 is how and who is it that you can model to get there faster. Right? Went over that the first time. Your goals. I brought this up last time as well. You get your personal and professional goals, short term, medium term, long term, and life goals. Using the eulogy as an exercise to write out your life goals, figure out who is it that you want to become in the process of obtaining whatever goal it is you're after. And I challenged everybody on Tuesday, and I give you the same challenge if you're here for the first time or here back for the first time and didn't hear it the other day. Have you written it down? Have you gotten yourself a little notebook that you're keeping track? Have you, because this isn't for me, I'm never going to check your notebooks. Have you taken a minute, the 15 minutes, the 30 minutes that it might take for you to do all of these? To write yourself down, chart yourself a little course, to put your goals on the paper, to actually put pen to paper for yourself. There's going to be inventories you're going to be taking of yourself. You're going to be writing things down constantly. And if you think that writing it down doesn't make a difference, you're not paying attention. Right? Not to me, but in life. Right? Have you done it for yourself? And if not, ask yourself why. Ask yourself why you haven't taken the steps yet. Because no matter how old you are, it doesn't matter where you are in this journey, if you decide that today you're going to make a step in the right direction, it's going to change the rest of your life. I promise you. I wouldn't be up here if it wouldn't. Right? I believe that I'm going to have a positive impact on the lives of whoever decides to take action on this. Problem is I can't stand up here and talk to you about it and then magic, boom, it happens. It's going to be you that makes it happen. So whatever change, whatever positive change you make in your life is 100% on you. Are you taking the steps? Are you actually putting pen to paper? So we went over the 80-20 principle, the Pareto principle, if anybody's heard of it. We talked about Parkinson's law. Parkinson's law is the rule that says that work will expand to fill the time allotted for it. And we talked about setting your goals for the month as a salesperson. Let's say your goal, how many cars do you want to sell this month?
Minimum 12.
12. You said 20? How many cars do you want to sell this month?
I want to do
12.
15.
15. Okay. Why 30 days? Why does it have to take 30 days to hit your goal? Why at the end of the month are you hustling to try to get to a goal that you haven't hit? Just like we said over here, what would it take? If it were possible, what would it look like for you to hit your long-term or medium-term goals in 90 days, right? What would it take for you to hit your monthly goals in your first week? If it were possible for you to hit the goal that you set for yourself in the first week, what would that look like? What would you have to do to make that happen? Parkinson's law is the one that says the work will expand to fill the time allotted. So if you give yourself 30 days to hit a goal, 60 days to hit a goal, and 90 days to hit a goal, it's going to take as long as you let it. Change your mind. Right? There's a great book out there, and I went through a lot of books. That's the other benefit of the video I posted on Tuesday. There's a lot of books listed in there. I think I talked about it in that one as well. The number of books that I've read in the last few years, handful of years. And that my goal, talk about Parkinson's law, talk about the 80-20 rule, compounding on yourself as far as self-improvement is concerned, going from 50% to 50.5, right? Always improving. My first goal to read books was I was going to read a book a week, right? Because Tony Robbins said he was going to read a book a day. Didn't quite get there, but over a few years, he read like 700 something books. So I said, I'm going to do one a week, right? And the first time, and I don't know who's heard this, but the first year that I set out to hit the 52 books, 1 week mark, I hit 12. Now, you could say, you failed. Well, actually, I read 12 more books than I had the year before. So for me, that was a win, right? A step in the right direction. Earl Nightingale, I'll pause the story for a minute. Earl Nightingale gives a definition of success in a video, and I'll post his video to everybody who wants to see it. He's dead now, but God, smart. is one of those smart minds of the mid 20th century that if you pay attention to what he was saying, kind of like that book by James Allen, As a Man Thinketh, right? Condensed wisdom in what Nightingale had to share. But he said the best definition of success that he ever came across, and I think we've talked about this already, was success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. That means you've got a target set up and you're moving towards it. Progressive realization, making something real, progressive realization of a worthy ideal. So you have to have the ideal set up and you have to be moving towards it, right? Now, As a Man Thinketh by James Allen says, I'm going to write that down. That's one of the books. It says that you are what you think about. You become what you think about. If you plant, and this is one of the stories Nightingale shares, right? And I'll share it with you. You should listen to him do it because he does it better. But if you take corn, seed of corn, and a seed of what's called nightshade or a poison, right? And you plant them in a field. We understand this in life, but that corn will grow to produce more corn, and then nightshades will grow to produce nightshades. Whatever you plant will come up. The same is true in your mind. Whatever you plant in your mind is fertile soil. It will plant and it will grow in abundance, whatever it is you plant. So if you plant negativity or fear or doubt or confusion, that's what you're going to get. So when I call you out and I say, and you don't have to answer out loud, but when I ask you, have you done this for yourself yet? Have you taken the steps to put on paper your goals to actually move towards a worthy ideal? Have you done it yet? Because if you haven't, then you're so in confusion in your own mind. And so what you get as a result is exactly what you're putting in for it. This is what you're asking life for. You're demanding of life to have the confusion that you're creating. And it's not the circumstances around you, it's your mind that's doing it. It's you that's doing it, right? By not taking the action to make a different decision. Whatever you're planting is what you're getting. As you sow, so shall you reap, right? That's what the good book says. So the 80-20 principle says that you are going to, let me go back, I'll finish that story about the books. So I read 12 books the first year and I said, great, I'm going to do it again. 52 books in a year. One a week. Second year, how many think I read?
No.
Triple, 36. Wow. I hit 36 in my second year, right? Again, I didn't hit the goal, but got twice as close, right? I tripled I read 36 books. Now, in the last 2 years, I've read 48 books. Wow, that's impressive. Let me try it again. Third year, and some of you weren't here when I shared this story. I remember now that I'm telling it. 52 books a week, or 52 books a year, one a week. How many did I hit the third year?
48.
104.
Good Lord. Jeez.
So that's why I bring up Parkinson's law, and I tell that story at this point, because what happened was I didn't hit that, right? We said it takes 66 days to create a habit. And so in the beginning, right, you have 22 days, 22 days, and 22 days. If you break it into the first third, it's hard, right? We're trying to instill a new habit. It takes discipline. Discipline doesn't last because it's painful to do something new. So the first 22 days is going to be hard. If you don't think what you're going to do in changing your life for the better is going to be hard, you're not paying attention. It's messy in the middle. You get through the hard part, now you're still struggling, right? You're still trying to figure out, you look like a baby trying to walk. Right? But babies have the magic formula for learning how to walk. You know what that is? Keep going until you figure it out. As adults, we're done once we find a little bit of disturbance. We make sure that nobody saw us screwed up. And we say, I'm not going to do that. I'll just settle for mediocrity. And then the last 22 days, so the last third is going to be glorious. Right? That's where you get into the groove. It's hard in the beginning, it gets really messy in the middle, and then all of a sudden you get hockey stick growth. Right? Now you're going to hit a plateau and you're going to have to do it again. You're going to have to keep growing. That's the beautiful thing about life. So I did. I hit 12, 36, and 104, and then it was just off to the races because now I knew that I could read 2 a week, and then Audible, right? So now I can listen at 2.2 speed. I can listen to a book faster than you can, right? I can also speed read. Why? Because I didn't know how to speed read. So I went and found somebody who did, took their course, learned how to speed read. Because I wanted it bad enough, is what I demanded. Parkinson's law says that work is going to expand to fill the time that you allow for it. Shrink your timeline. There's a great book called The 12-Week Year. Forget who wrote it, 12-week year. What it's about is taking your year and chopping it into 12 weeks. So now, in 1 year, you've got 4, right? So in 90 days, 12 weeks, 1 quarter, you plan your year. So if I want to make $100,000, and I promise you, I live this, and Johnny knows, Johnny and I talk about it, I live this right now, right? I wanted a certain number by a year, right? I surpassed the goal, and I said, how do I get it in 90 days? I didn't know how, right? The how is always who. I didn't know how, but I just focused on, I'm going to figure out. I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'm going to get to the next number. I'm going to get to the next number. And all of a sudden, because I kept reaffirming that to myself, I found a way. The universe brought it to me, if you will. It attracted to me what I was searching for, because I was putting in the work at the same time. And I was willing to fall on my face and do things wrong, mess up. But that's the way it works. Are you putting in the work? Have you started this? Have you done this? So we went over Parkinson's law, and I'll review one more time. The 80-20 principle is the Pareto principle. It says that 80% of your results are going to come from 20% of your efforts. So if you have 100 things to do on your to-do list, 20 of those are going to produce 80% of the result that you're looking for. 20% of that is going to be 4. 20% of that, and I'll round up, is going to be 1. There's one thing on your list, according to the 80-20 principle, if you apply it a couple times, there's one thing on your list that's the most important thing to you that you can do. The One Thing by Jay Papasan and Gary Keller is the book that talks about this. It says, what is the one thing that I can do such that by doing, everything else will be easier or unnecessary? That's the question. So watch last time's video, and you'll get all of that, and it's about a 30-minute video, right? They all seem to be 30 minutes. I'm trying to keep them short. I'm trying to condense this, right?
Hey, Elvis.
Yeah, hey, I learned from the best, right?
Yes.
All right, so what we talked about at the end of last time was the perfect day. So what I gave as homework, and I give you as homework, right? And you don't have to do it. I didn't like doing homework in school, so I didn't. But you don't have to do the homework unless you want to make a positive change in your life and you want something dramatic to happen, right? If you want to take action on it, that's up to you. But the perfect day is, what is your perfect day? What does that look like? If you were to wake up at whatever time you wanted to wake up, what time would that be? What would you do when you woke up? Who would you see? Where would you go, right? So I'll give you an example. Me, my perfect day, I would wake up at 4 a.m. I know this sounds crazy, but I like waking up early. Because by the time you fuckers wake up, I've already accomplished more than you're going to accomplish with your whole day. Okay. 4 a.m., I would get up, make the coffee. My wife and I get ready for the gym. We go and work out. We come home. I take a shower because I'm not allowed to lay in the recliner all sweaty anymore because I stink it up a little bit. So I lay in the recliner after my shower. I do some breath work. Wim Hof, if you want to learn about that. I think I've shared that before. Do some breath work, and I go into meditation guided by Alan Watts' video. He's dead, but he's also brilliant. And then I do my meditation. So that's how I start my morning. And then I would get up and, I fill out the rest of my day. So I know what my first few hours look like. It's called a ritual.
I love it that you call it that.
I have a morning ritual.
Yeah.
We all need them.
Yeah.
Routine.
It hits differently when you say ritual.
Yeah, it's my ritual. It's my sacred time. It's my sacred space. It sets me up. It sets up this thing. So I have my ritual in the morning. I walk through my routine. You need a routine. If you don't have one, that's probably why you're not hitting your goals, to be honest with you. So what does your day look like? Plan it out. All right? And again, don't overthink it. Just, if you could have the perfect day, what would that look like? And then you can do it again the next day, right? It doesn't all want to be the same. Sometimes you want to do different things. Well, what would that look like for you? So what does a perfect week look like? Right? So this expands, and all of a sudden, what you're doing is every day, what you do every day matters. What you do every day matters. So if you go to the gym every day, it matters. If you brush your teeth every day, it matters. If you brush your teeth one time, what's going to happen? Nothing. You go to the gym one time, what's going to happen? Nothing. Right? It's what you do every day. That is what makes up your life. Now, the things that we do every day, we underestimate their value. Right? And this applies to us in sales. Right? We underestimate the value of making our phone calls, of sending out the videos we're asked to send out. Because we don't realize it's the little things every day that add up to the big things. Right? It's the brushing your teeth 2 minutes in the morning and 2 minutes at night. Right? It's the constant commitment, the persistence. Persistence is another way of faith. Another way of saying faith. Have faith that your outcome is going to come. Have faith that what you're going to accomplish is going to come. Because you won't persist if you don't have that faith. If you don't believe in it. That's why I set up a ritual. So ask yourself, what does my day look like? Now, there might be some sort of, we talked about this last time, there might be some sort of break between what your perfect day would look like and what your perfect day needs to look like today, given your present circumstances and limitations. So you might have a perfect day that is out in the future somewhere that you have to bring into existence. But you have to start with a perfect day, not the perfect day, but a perfect day with where you are right now. Because there's a distance between 1 and 2, right? Fair enough? So now you've done this exercise. Once you do this exercise, you can now apply it to yourself and say, okay, given my present conditions and circumstances and my limitations that come with that, how do I have a perfect day that gives me what I really want right now so that I can attain what I'm after, so I can become the person that I want to become? So one of the things Nightingale says is that a lot of times we define success as making money. And we think that once we make money, we'll be successful. The problem is you can't make money until you are successful. We got it backwards. You got to become, remember, you got to become a millionaire before you can get $1 million. What that means is you got to instill the habits in your life. You have to have the rituals and the behaviors of a millionaire before the money's going to come into your life. All right, so we talked about the 80-20 principle. We went into the perfect day with it. Here's why I went to the perfect day. Has anybody heard of time blocking? I want you to take the idea of a perfect day. Do that homework. And I mentioned that there might be some sort of disparity between the perfect day and what your day needs to look like right now in order to be successful. Time blocking. That is an actual skill. You ever heard of it? Who thinks they know what it might be? Anybody? No?
Setting apart a certain time of the day for a specific task.
Correct? Say it again.
Setting apart a time of the day for a specific task.
And I'm going to stop there because of limitations. But close. You know, you're on the right track. 8 a.m., 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keeps going, right? Take a calendar. And draw a block. You literally block your calendar. And you know, maybe, if you're smart, the first thing you do, the first 90 minutes of your day, you do the most important thing that you can do. Right? We talked about that list. Maybe you develop yourself for the first 90 minutes. Maybe 30 minutes of self-development. Maybe you write your letters if you're into writing letters and making contact with people that way.
Journaling.
Maybe you do so I would put journaling first, right? So I do the journaling as part of my morning ritual.
Okay.
Right, before I get here. But if it's 8 a.m., right, I'm supposed to be here by 8:30. I get here at 8 a.m. I start my first 30 minutes prepping my mind. I go into my 8:30 meeting if I have the meeting that day. You know, if it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, right? Otherwise, this is what I do. My first 90 minutes are going to be the most productive 90 minutes that I can have. I'm going to do everything to set up my day right. And I'm just giving you an example of what it could look like. And then at the end of that, I give myself a break. I get 15 minutes. I can grab a drink, cup of coffee, bathroom, go shoot the bull with people, connect, because that's part of what we do too. It's a people business. and we have a good time chatting it up. Teresa was telling us about her vacation that she just went on. Fantastic trip. She went over to Italy. She filled us in on what that was like. That's an important part of my day. I got to connect with the people I love here. It's part of it, right? So you have that in there. You give yourself the space. It's, again, 80%. If you can get 80% of your day productive, and this is in the other video, if you can get 80% of your day productive and 20% of it is downtime, recharge time, right? You like a battery, you do need to reset, right? You need to take the break. Otherwise, you will wear yourself out mentally. It takes calories to run this thing, right? So you need to reset. It's not, oh, you got to become a machine, but the blocking gives you, okay, this is my focus time. This time, maybe this is the time where I make my phone calls, right? Or maybe it comes down here because after work, people are available to answer the phone. Maybe on their lunch break, that's when I do a quick 30-minute power hour or power half hour, right? Where I'm just going to dial for connections, right? And I say dial for connections. We used to call it dialing for dollars when I was in real estate, right? But it's dialing for connections. How many connections can I make? Now, if I ask myself that question, then my goal is to connect, right? That's the RPM. My result is to connect with people, to have meaningful conversations. The outcome is to have a meaningful conversation. And so I'm going to design that conversation differently than just, hey, I'm just calling to wish you happy birthday. Hey, no, it's your birthday. I'm calling to connect with you. I want to wish you happy birthday. How's the vehicle that you're driving? Everything working great with it? Oh, is it time to trade it in already? No, okay. You know anybody who is looking to trade? No, fantastic. Well, how's the family? Great. Connect. Find out something. Spend time. When you get that connection, spend time with them. Right? But time blocking is a skill that I want you to practice. I want you to take, so you got your perfect day, you got this idea that you're going to bring into reality, right? You're going to have a progressive realization of a worthy ideal, and you're going to use this to plan your day. And you say, okay, now remember, it can't all be blocked off, right? But you want a focus. Hopefully, in your perfect day, there's a couple of sales in there, right? You might have two car sales that you want to make every day. Maybe you want to make 3. Whatever it is, whatever the perfect day is, you got to somehow figure out how to set that up. So that's the perfect day. This is, you're going to set up your time now. How are you going to best use your time? So that's a real practice, and I want you to get used to doing it. It's going to be hard, right? It's going to be hard. You're not in the habit of doing it. So start doing it. Has anybody ever used anything like this before?
Well, the military does something like that. They just don't tell you about it. I mean, you make your bed every morning, you shave every morning, you go to breakfast.
It's a great example.
Pick up trash, and whatever it is that they do. And I mean, you get away from that as you don't have to do stuff like that, like run PT, physical fitness, obviously. But like just making your bed, brushing your teeth, taking a shower.
Mm-hmm.
You do it every day. I mean, you'd be surprised just making your bed puts you in that get organized mindset.
So you said something very interesting when you started off that share. You said the military has something for you like that, even if they don't tell you about it.
That's right.
That's true of life.
Subliminal.
If you don't have a plan, you're going to fit into somebody's plan. Somebody's got a plan for you. So all I'm requesting, I'm asking and inviting you to do is to set yourself up. Again, watch the video from Tuesday, and you're going to have results. If you're using RPM, you're not going to be planning out to-dos. You're going to start with a to-do list that you're used to doing. These are all the things that I have to do. You're going to label a few results, the outcomes that you're actually after. And you're going to find that these to-dos will fit into a list that falls underneath of outcomes. And then you're going to figure out that there's one of those things that is the most important thing, so that everything else will be easier or unnecessary, and you'll start knocking off the most important things that you can do. You'll start accomplishing goals, outcomes, results, instead of just running around overwhelmed because you're spinning your wheels, not accomplishing anything, because you did a bunch of stuff and got nothing done. Right? So by time blocking is giving yourself the opportunity to plan for success. To know, I'm going to do these things. And what happens, let me ask you, what happens if you're in the middle of this block and a customer comes in and interrupts it?
Move the block.
Yeah. So you take what comes.
Pick up where you left off.
You take the opportunity, you have a meaningful conversation, you connect with somebody, help them buy a car, hopefully, and then resume. Cool. I know where I was because I actually had a plan. Now, when this loop wraps itself up, I can pick up right where I left off and move forward. Maybe what you're going to do can be moved to the next day even, because this block comes up and you don't want to miss that block and then move everything. So maybe this, whatever this is, unless it is the priority, right? Why would you do anything that's not the most important thing? The most important thing by definition is the thing that you should be doing, right? So this is just a way for you to organize it.
Get in the right mindset.
And get in the right mindset, absolutely. But you organize it. So then you don't feel like you're chasing two rabbits. Because the saying goes, what? The man who chases two rabbits catches none. Right?
Look at the squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the squirrel.
And squirrel. All right, so this is a real skill. Write out your perfect day. Get in that frame of mind. Understand that there is one. Figure out what your perfect day looks like right now, and time block it so that you can come to work and be effective. You know, I've got different days based upon when we come in. Sometimes we have different schedules, right? We all do. We all have the same type of breakup in our schedule. Well, you can plan for that. You can know that on certain days, this is the way it's going to go. So 11 a.m. is going to look different than 8 a.m. And that's okay. If you've got it written out, you got a plan. It's going to be hard, but commit to it for yourself, not for me. This is going to make your life easier. It's going to get messy, and then it's going to be great. You're going to be so glad you started doing this. And people are going to be like, what are you doing, man? That's fine. I'm not the kind of person that does that. Well, you should become it. You should change the person you are. Remember, you're a terrible employee and a worse boss. Fire yourself and become someone different. Become someone better. That's what this is. This is an opportunity to organize your day. Watch the last one. You'll understand more about what this is and prioritizing your day based upon what you want to accomplish and doing the most important things first. Because if you've got a list of things that you want to do or you think you have to do, and then all of a sudden you do these two things and this gets accomplished, you do this thing and all of a sudden these don't even need to be done anymore because this gets accomplished, and then you do maybe this one and then you get through this one and then all of a sudden this one gets accomplished. Are you upset that you didn't have to do this, or any of these? Yeah. You're probably grateful, right? Now you accomplished 3 things, you got something else. Is that still important? Is that actually a priority? If it is, well then you got to do it tomorrow. You got to move it on. But if you accomplish 3 goals by the end of the day, you're probably in good shape. You probably don't have 4. You might have 1 or 2, right? It's easy for us to say. And I think we've talked about this before. Sell a car or set an appointment, right? Setting up tomorrow for success. That's really the result you're after here. Now, in your to-dos are things like code videos, phone calls, working the point, right? All that stuff. Talking to service customers, those are all to-dos. Organize your day based upon your outcomes. Use time blocking as a time management system. Remember, starting with RPM, starting with the result, knowing why you're doing it, and taking massive action. Any questions? This one's real. You're either going to do it or you're not.
Piss poor plan carried out is better than no plan.
If you commit to doing this and you do this at 80%, just 80%, you commit to doing this and you do this at 80% and you do this every day for the next 30 days, your life will be different. Better. If you do it badly in the beginning, good. Remember, I hit 12 out of 52. Then I hit 36 out of 52. Then I hit 104. All of a sudden, 52 looked like nothing. That's the whole idea. Do it badly. Give yourself permission to fall a couple times. A baby learns how to walk because it doesn't stop when it falls the first time. Every baby does this. Anyone that can walk, at least, right? All right. Let's get at it.